Now at 11, live team coverage of the flooding in Elk County continues. The people I talked to are just happy to have a place to sleep tonight, plus how communities are tackling the recovery effort.
Cold front moving into the area tonight, still generating a few showers and storms. We'll take a look at radar straight ahead.
And a man shot and killed last month. How those close to him honored his memory with a candlelight vigil.
6 News 11 at 11. Coverage you can count on in high definition. Starts with severe weather Team 6 coverage.
Severe flooding around Elk County today. Here's a look at damage done in Ridgeway as water flowed into the streets. Take a look at what it looked like in Jay Township. Peggy sent us this picture. You can see what used to be a swimming pool and a swing set. Good evening and thanks for joining us. It came with little warning. Thunderstorms that nearly stayed in place. The meteorologists call that training, dumping several inches of rain in a short period of time. So much rain that it quickly led to serious flash flooding in Elk County, and Ridgeway bore the brunt of that storm, and that's where Jen Johnson is tonight. Jen?
Good evening, Mart. The sun set long ago, but people here in Ridgeway are still at it at this hour. In fact, the fire department right behind me just responded to a call about 30 minutes ago. An alarm went out about someone smelling the scent of natural gas. These volunteers have been at it now for more than 16 hours, while property owners are cleaning up the mess from what is believed to be historic flooding. In Ridgeway, the Clarion River rose impressively fast, cresting at more than 21 feet. By 9 Wednesday morning, the bridge was impassable. The worst flooding, some say, since Agnes in '72.
We had rescues, we had evacuations. We were going since it started raining.
7 people rescued from the hardware store, 4 people from the Rite Aid, 7 people from Country Squirrel Outfitters. And their competitor on the other side of the raging river put his drift boat to use.
The people that were helping me, we hopped in the boat and we just kind of weaved down through the houses on Penn Avenue and went down to the bottom of Mount Morenci. And that's when they said they needed help getting people out of Penn Avenue.
The water came up so fast that emergency crews initially used a PennDOT plow truck to pluck people from their homes. Then the salt trucks started floating.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do to get people out. You know, people don't realize when water comes, the power behind water. It's amazing.
Put a request in for other boats to come from other counties, and we had an opportunity, probably roughly around 17 people to rescue those that were either stranded in their house or on rooftops.
When the bridge reopened, everyone came out to see the damage left behind and to make sure their friends and family near the river made it out okay. Water plant manager Rick McKnight spent the day away from it all at the reservoir, but he needed a lift from the ladder truck when the road washed out at the H.B. Norton Dam.
They came out and got me, so made the night a little shorter, I guess.
But everyone is in for much longer days beginning tomorrow. Now, fortunately, officials say everyone survived. There are no confirmed deaths, and I've just been told that the Clarion River is below flood stage right now at about 15.5 feet. There was a lot of hard work going in today, though. There were many evacuations. St. Leo's Elementary School, for instance, got its students out in time. I'm told that the basement is flooded. There will be no school there tomorrow. Home after home all up and down the river are a mess. In fact, a shelter has been set up at the Ridgeway Fire Department along Broad Street. Many people are staying with family or friends tonight, but there are some senior citizens who were evacuated from the high-rise. They're just thankful for a cot and a warm blanket to get through the night.
The Red Cross is going to come in and be here during the evening. We have several people here that are diabetic and need medical attention, so we need to have the staffing here, and then the auxiliary will be back in here tomorrow then to help.
Earlier today, a transformer blew out at that high-rise, so no one is sleeping at the high-rise tonight. West Penn Power tells me a new transformer will be trucked in here tomorrow. They hope to have electricity restored to the high-rise by mid-afternoon. Now to the cleanup. The video really just cannot capture how big of a job it is going to be for home and business owners. 6 News reporter Lauren Hensley talked with several business owners and has more about how bad the damage is.
I'm outside of Napa Auto Parts, and as you can see, the store's front window is completely gone. It had to be boarded up. Now, in spite of the damage, the owner tells me they expect to be open tomorrow, but other businesses say they're not going to be as lucky. On Main Street in Ridgeway, workers were cleaning out Napa Auto Parts, which got several inches of flood waters inside the building, shutting down business for the day.
Oh, it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. A lot of mud. A lot of mud.
He says this is the worst he's seen, the storm even destroying the store's front windows. Still, Bunk expects to be open for business Thursday.
I'm sure if somebody comes in and wants to buy something at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're not going to turn them away.
Right across the street, the cleanup began at the VFW. Workers not optimistic about when they will reopen.
Oh my God, it's a mess. We're going to be closed at least for a week.
Fixing the damage will have a heavy price tag.
All our coolers behind the bar were overturned with the water. They're probably all ruined. The motors, everything. There's mud throughout the entire place. I don't know how bad the walk-in is. The bathrooms are flooded. Everything will have to be replaced.
And the cleanup has truly just begun here in Ridgeway. This isn't the only business that's boarded up. Right across the street from me, I can see there is a Rite-Aid, and they've been boarded up as well. And so many homeowners are still cleaning up over these devastating floodwaters. Reporting live in Elk County, Lauren Hensley, 6 News.
Lauren, thanks. Well, members of the Red Cross disaster team will be canvassing many of the neighborhoods in the town of Ridgeway tomorrow when the sun comes up. I'm also told that PEMA and FEMA officials will be in town. Community leaders are hoping to get that disaster declaration, which could provide money and assistance from the government in what promises to be a long road to recovery. And I might add that some families are still looking to reunite with their loved ones. I know that you know, Marty, I grew up in the town of Ridgeway. My 89-year-old grandfather still lives here. I'm told that he was rescued from his home in a canoe, but I have yet to hear from him, and we are very anxious to find him. Mart, back to you.
Jen, I know it's going to be tough on you and other members of your family and all those people up there, and we just wish them Godspeed and get back to normal, but the cleanup's going to take quite a while. Thanks for your work tonight. So now we start to look forward to weather that's on the way, and Tony Martin's tracking that for us tonight. Tony?
Well, Marty, we have another round of showers and storms coming in from the northwest tonight. Weak area of low pressure moving throughout northern portions of Ohio, and with that, more showers, more thunderstorms now. They're not to the extent of what we were dealing with very late last night, early this morning. However, they are certainly packing a punch, moving in around Cleveland and also into northeastern Ohio, sliding southeastward. Just on the top left-hand corner of your screen here, you can see several hundred lightning strikes with that complex in northeast Ohio. And again, they're moving off toward the south and east at around 25 to 30 miles per hour. And as we change our view here just a bit and check out northern portions of Ohio and also northwestern Pennsylvania, here is that complex around Ashtabula working southeastward. Most of this will miss Elk and also Clearfield County. However, some pretty heavy rain here, and this will continue to run southeastward almost right along 422 throughout the night and move southeastward into the Laurel Highlands probably between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. So some heavier downpours, some thunder and some lightning will be moving through the southern half of the state later on tonight. Behind that, we're going to turn much cooler, it looks like, as we round out the work and school week. I'll show you how cool when I come back a bit later on. Marty?
Much more on the flooding in Elk County tomorrow morning beginning at 5 a.m. And for weather coverage anytime, you can just log on to our website, WJACTV.com. Grove Avenue in Johnstown was lit up tonight by candles and voices, remembering a young man who was shot and killed last month. Melanie Gillespie was there for that vigil and has more tonight on how his family is remembering it. Mel?
Marty, Zach Andrews would have been 22 years old today. That's why family and friends celebrated his birthday just as he would while fighting to find the person who killed him.
It was a night of remembrance.
And it was me and Zach all our life. And he didn't deserve this.
Hope.
Love, that's the main saying we have for Zach. Love never dies.
And celebration.
Happy birthday to you. And it's for all of us, and it's for his birthday, and to celebrate his life and how much we love him. We're still there. We're still going to be there.
Zach Andrews was shot and killed inside his Grove Avenue home in mid-April. He would have turned 22 today.
We are not going to be taken out. There are going to be answers. There's so many questions. We need answers.
You know, you think about scenarios constantly, trying to figure out how it might have went down, how did it play out. And yeah, like I said, it consumes us. It really does.
His family and friends lit candles to shed light on the man he was.
He just touched everyone's heart in certain ways and brought laughter and brought care, brought love to each and everyone's heart and life.
And what he's leaving behind.
I mean, I already knew how much Zach was loved, and he just really had a huge impact on a lot of people's lives.
While continuing to fight for justice.
Just knowing that someone did this to our son and our loved one, and they're still walking free.
We don't want this to happen to another family out here. We want this all to stop, and we want our town back. We want our lives back. We want the next generation to be safe and let them grow up in a safe neighborhood now.
Police are still actively investigating his case. His family has set up their own fund to help police lead to an arrest. If you'd like to donate, you can log on to our website, WJACTV.com. Reporting live, Melanie Gillespie, 6 News.
New at 11, 2 people arrested in a meth lab bust in Jefferson County. Investigators say that Carrie Hausler and Keith McNaughton were running an operation out of a house on Crestwood Circle in Brookville. Both are in jail on $100,000 bail. Bedford County Commissioners scored a court victory today, a Commonwealth court deciding that the county's president judge is not granted control over a DUI school fund. President Judge also ordered to return money owed from that account to the general fund. Firefighters called to Iolite Avenue in Johnstown's Woodvale neighborhood for a bathroom fire. Assistant Fire Chief telling us rolls of toilet paper caught fire in a vanity. No word on a cause, but some plastic piping was melted. An attempted robbery at a CVS pharmacy in Blair County caught on camera. Police looking for this man. You can see him standing at the counter of the store on Plank Road in Altoona, flashing a gun at the cashier. It does not appear he made off with any money or drugs. He was wearing a white Penn State sweatshirt and black hat and a black beard, is about 5'11". If you recognize him or have seen him, please call police with that information. A day after a federal judge ruled Pennsylvania's ban on same-sex marriage was unconstitutional, Governor Tom Corbett announcing he won't appeal that decision. Corbett tweeting this statement saying, as a Roman Catholic, the traditional teaching of my faith has not wavered. I continue to maintain the belief that marriage is between one man and one woman. My duties as governor require that I follow the law as interpreted by the courts and make a judgment as to the likelihood of a successful appeal. There are also a lot of people who believe that legalizing same-sex marriage is the wrong decision. In fact, the pastor of Faith Baptist Church in Altoona, like many of the Christian faith, strongly opposed Judge Jones' ruling to overturn the Defense of Marriage Act, making gay marriage legal in Pennsylvania. Pastor Dull tells us there are a few gay couples who attend his services on a regular basis, even participate in Bible study and church functions. And he says while they'll always be welcome to attend, they will never be married under his guidance.
These doors are open to anybody who wishes to come, and we would even develop a relationship with them. But we still recognize that from God's word, it's not the way that pleases the Lord.
The Blair County Prothonotary tells us only one couple has filled out an application. President Obama under pressure by alleged misconduct at VA hospitals ahead. The action that House leaders taking tonight on that issue. She says she fell in love with karate when she was 15 years old. You'll see how she fought her way to the top later in sports.
6 News 11 at 11. Coverage you can count on in high definition. Starts now.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
It will be Governor Tom Corbett versus Tom Wolf in the November election for Pennsylvania governor. Wolf defeating 3 others to get the Democratic nomination. And he spoke tonight at his campaign headquarters in York County.
We have a clear record of an administration that wants to hollow out our schools, that wants to play fast and loose with jobs, that wants to take our natural assets and play fast and loose with them.
Take a look at the numbers. Wolf with a dominant victory over Allison Schwartz, State Treasurer Rob McCord, and Katie McGinney. Governor Corbett spoke to his supporters in Pittsburgh tonight, and some people in Cambria County feeling much the same. In fact, Cambria County Republicans gathered at the Solomon Run Fire Hall to celebrate what they called a unity party. Cambria Republicans recently reorganizing with new leadership and a new headquarters location. And while winning in the primary is important, the real work begins now for November.
It's more about focusing on educating the voters and making sure that they understand what the governor's efforts have been over the last 3 years and the positive things that have happened.
In addition to the governor's race, there are contests for state house and senate seats all across Pennsylvania. Those are scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now, and we'll highlight some of those in just a few moments. One thing we have been watching for tonight is a response from Governor Tom Corbett on today's decision that legalized gay marriage in Pennsylvania for now. He has stayed silent on the ruling since it came down this afternoon. His office did send out a statement earlier tonight saying the governor was looking over the ruling and would likely have some remarks tomorrow. Still unclear if he plans to file an appeal. In the meantime, Democratic winner Tom Wolf said Corbett needs to leave this one alone.
He said we're a better people than that in his ruling. What he did is great for Pennsylvania, and I call on Tom Corbett to drop the lawsuit, to stop the appeals, and get with the 21st century in Pennsylvania. This is great for all Pennsylvanians.
Votes coming in on that $85 million referendum on improvements to the high school and state college turned out to be approved overwhelmingly, and Lauren Hensley is live there tonight with more. Lauren? Celebrations like this one in Philadelphia happening in places all across Pennsylvania after a federal judge struck down the state's same-sex marriage ban. Pennsylvania is the 19th state now to recognize same-sex marriage. Judge John Jones III, issuing the decision today, wrote in his ruling that we are a better people than what these laws represent, and it is time to discard them into the ash heap of history. When these decisions have come down in other states, they've more often than not been appealed. And if this one is, today's decision would be stayed, which means gay couples won't be allowed to get marriage licenses until the matter would be reviewed by a higher court. The American Civil Liberty Union says some couples who are getting marriage licenses also asking for emergency waivers so that they can get married the day they get the license instead of a normal 3-day waiting period.
For anybody who gets married now, they're married and they're married forever. So even if the Supreme Court were to issue a stay next week, anybody who gets married between now and then is married, and the state of Pennsylvania is going to have to respect that marriage.
The ACLU says that did happen in Utah. Those marriages there honored. The ACLU said that sets a precedent for Pennsylvania. The Keystone State now among the dozen or so states across the country that will allow same-sex marriage. Melanie Gillespie has more tonight on how people in the area are reacting to the ruling.
Marty, as you can imagine, the gay community is celebrating this as a huge victory toward equal rights. We talked to a couple earlier today who is actually behind the case brought before the judge.
All of a sudden in the car, I was by myself. I had a chance to think about it, and I realized I don't feel like I'm a second-class citizen anymore. I feel like I'm back to being a first-class citizen.
Tuesday afternoon became a milestone for the gay community and is being called a triumph in love. A federal judge struck down the ban on same-sex marriage in a case filed on behalf of 21 Pennsylvanians, including state college couple Ron and Greg.
I've been sad for a long time that I haven't really felt like I was equal to everybody else because I happened to be in love with another man, and we've made our lives together for almost 20 years. It'll be 20 years in August. So it was a chance to just say, okay, if I believe in this, it's up to me now to get out in front of it and do something. Well, I think people seeing gay men and lesbians wanting to get married, they're saying they're wanting something that's not only they want a right, but it comes with responsibilities too.
Phil and Eric have been together for 10 years. They too are cherishing the moment they've waited so long for.
Again, it is exciting. It is definitely a momentous occasion in Pennsylvania, and believe me, we're savoring and cherishing the moment.
We've been waiting for it to become legal in Pennsylvania so that we can do it on our own terms and our own ground.
While some say they don't want to see gay couples at the altar because of their religious values.
And I feel like it shouldn't be allowed, but
I do respect people, but I feel like they should have to, like, not be hiding, but they shouldn't be allowed to have a certificate for it.
The Diocese of Altoona Johnstown agrees. It believes marriage is between a man and a woman and says it's not a matter of discriminating against individuals of any kind, but rather a statement in defense of traditional marriage, which we see as a strong foundation for family.
This decision can still be appealed, but in the meantime, couples can immediately apply for marriage licenses, and those who have wed elsewhere are now considered a legally married couple in the state of Pennsylvania. Reporting live in Johnstown, Melanie Gillespie, 6 News.
People don't want to believe that it's in their backyard as a problem, so they certainly don't want to be reminded of it by having any kind of treatment program.
Finding a solution to the heroin problem plaguing our communities. What do you do when you need help or your loved one has an addiction? There are many answers to those questions, none of them easy or right for everybody. Methadone has been considered the gold standard in opiate addiction treatment for decades. It was approved by the FDA in the early 70s. Some 19,000 Pennsylvanians are using it. One clinic in the area treats 485 people every day. But some treatment experts don't recommend methadone for their clients.
It's like switching one drug for another drug.
There's a whole lot more that goes into treating the addict than just writing them a prescription for a substitute for medicine.
Methadone is not a magic bullet. It's not something that somebody's going to take and it's going to change their life overnight.
Methadone, Suboxone, and other replacement drugs are not short-term solutions to this problem. Addicts say it's about using them and working on the problems that are really at the root of their addictions. And we asked you on our WJACTV.com, do you think methadone or Suboxone is the right form of treatment for heroin addiction? 64% said yes, 36% said no. Meantime, some of you speaking out on our Facebook page. Debbie writes, I know firsthand that the treatments can work if they're taken as instructed.
I was offended by it when I first saw it. I had an individual stop here at the station, a female that was in the military, and she was very offended by it.
What the officers saw was an American flag hanging upside down, a sign of distress. It was painted with the letters AIM. Now, the Blair County man who hung it at his house says the letters stand for American Indian Movement. Joshua Brubaker says he was standing up for his heritage that he claims is being taken away in parts of the Midwest and was only exercising his right of free speech through the flag. Allegheny Township Police, though, say the department and others in the community found the display extremely offensive and wouldn't stand for it in their community.
Too many people have made too many sacrifices to protect the flag, and to leave this happen in my community, I'm not happy with that.
Police not only took down the flag, but they charged Brubaker with desecrating it. He tells us he has proof that he should not have been charged.
In the paperwork that they gave me stating what laws I broke, it clearly says exemptions are for political use.
The charges Brubaker is facing are only misdemeanors, but that hasn't stopped the American Civil Liberties Union from getting involved in the case. In a statement, the legal director for the ACLU said this is clearly political expression. It does not give the police license to run over our First Amendment just because it offended them, adding that previous court decisions have ruled these laws unconstitutional, and he wants to help Brubaker fight the charges. Many of you posting about this on our Facebook page, including Mark, who writes, I'm a vet, and I disagree with the use of the flag, but I will defend his right to use it to the death.